Hello, beautiful, divine angels. How are you doing, my incredible souls? How are you today? Today, I'm going to start with an oracle deck. This is the Sacred Destiny Oracle. And we're going to see, what are the guiding messages for us today. And I feel like let's focus on um, what does let me see, what should we focus on? Let me get the message. What is a collective need today? You know what, I'm going to let it come through. I'm just going to see what the oracle cards are showing me, and then we can decide and see what exactly is the message today. What is the topic of today's divine guidance? All right, let's see. Welcome to everybody who's here. How are you? I am doing well, and yeah, let's just see first what is coming through. All right. So the first card that popped out is inner peace. Inner peace. So I feel like that could be the theme of today's reading. What does it mean? Inner peace, what does it mean? And there are two fishies swimming alongside each other, and it says inner peace. And a lot of times, it is in our relationships that we find we don't have peace, or the way we process or the way we understand certain communications in our relationships can give us a lot of turmoil. Am I right? I mean, I feel one of the most challenging things in life is relationships, is the way we relate to each other, is the way we, communicate with each other. And so the theme here is about inner peace, a peace that is so content, a peace that is so wholesome, that is so centered within you, that everything and everyone that you encounter, um, you only have peace to give. Wouldn't it be amazing to reach that place in our lives that no matter what happens or whatever anyone is saying or doing, the only thing that we have within ourselves is peace to share, you know? So that is the theme of this reading. And yeah, you are struggling with that. Usually you're very peaceful, but nowadays it's like I've been thrown off balance. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sunshine, love your name. Sunshine, beautiful. Yeah, sometimes in life, it's hard to keep that balance, and there's certain triggers and certain situations that come up which really shake us up. And what's important is to give yourself a lot of, even if it's not a lot, at least a little bit of time every day to just breathe, just breathe and just find your center. Find your center. And I always say this, and I'll say it again. It's so important to push off energy that has disturbed you, or that is disturbing energy, or the frequency is off. Sometimes you'll go to a place and everything seems okay on the surface, but there's a frequency that lingers, and it's unpleasant. It doesn't feel nice. And so it's so important to disconnect from that frequency, whatever it was that you brought back with you, when you went somewhere, or maybe you heard something, or maybe it was your own thought that created a disruption, in your energy field. And so it's very, very crucial for us to start balancing our energy field out. So if you're feeling anything that's unpleasant, that seems to be like, sometimes you don't know what it is, sometimes it's just this feeling, you just feel uneasy, you just don't feel good. And it's so important to do a check. So do a full check of yourself. Maybe, I think, it's a really good practice to write things down. So go through your day, for example, like just go through your day step by step, and you'll find that little thorn that's been like pricking at you. And sometimes it can be something very silly. It can be something that hurt your ego, but it's, when you look at it, you're like, is it worth my time? Is it worth me giving time to this particular thing? Is it worth my whole peace, my life, my mental balance for this silly little thing? And then when you find it, you just pluck it out and you throw it away. So you just disconnect from it. Disconnect from whatever energy field is making you feel anything other than peaceful, anything other than rejuvenated, anything other than your powerful self. So really, really important to stop handing your frequency. I say frequency because that's all it's about, to other people or a circumstance. You've got to constantly realign, bring yourself back, and say, I'm going to keep my frequency sacred, my space sacred, my environment, my also, of course, your physical environment as much as possible. Because a lot of, if we keep things in order, if we keep things in a disciplined way, then you feel mentally calmer as well. So both are important, but also not allowing into your mental space anything that is going to corrupt, disrupt, or set you off on a path that doesn't align with the vision you have for your life. And a lot of people don't have a vision for their life. So write that down. What is my vision for my life? Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I own, several sports cars, or I have $1 billion. It doesn't have to be all those things. It can also just be, I am at peace. No matter where I am, no matter what I do, I am at peace. No matter where I go, no matter who I encounter, I find myself centered and calm and able to respond rather than react. And that I am in full, uh, I'm in charge of my being, you know it is not running me, I am running it. I am showing it where to go, how to go. I'm directing the flow of my energy in a direction that is constructive rather than destructive, always being solution oriented, not reactive. So whatever you're dealing with, and I remind myself as well, I'm like, calm down. This agitation, however anyone behaves, is not going to serve you to find the peace that you want, you know? And like Wayne Dyer used to say, I love him. I love my Wayne Dyer. What an incredible human being he was and is, because his spirit lives on. He used to say, ask yourself, what will give me peace? So if you're engaging in something and you're getting riled up and you find your peace is taken away, you can automatically, as you become used to it, as you practice it, bring yourself back into a state of calm. You don't let anything or anyone steal or rob away your calm and peace, because that has to be a priority. Nothing else matters. I mean, nothing matters. No matter what, your priority is your peace of mind and heart. And you will know how to act accordingly. So when you start asking yourself, when you're about to like lash out or about to have a complete meltdown about something, just regulate yourself. emotional regulation, if that was taught to people from an earlier age, we would live in a much more peaceful world. And I believe everything can be taught. We can learn everything, and we can unlearn things that have not served us in our lives. And at some point, you've got to examine yourself and say, excuse me, what are these traits? What are these repetitive thought patterns? What are these behaviors in my life that I find are not serving me anymore, and they are not creating peace? They're creating more violence, they're creating more anger, they're creating more unrest, they're creating more of a defense of, people will defend themselves, like, I'm just like that, this is how I am, it was my trauma, it was this. Of course it is, no doubt. You've come to this point for a certain reason. You have had experiences that have formed you, that have shaped you, that have hurt you, that have turned you into this version of yourself, perhaps that isn't working for you. But when you bring awareness into it, that, okay, yes, all these things happened to me. Yes, it was traumatic. Yes, it was painful. Yes, I do suffer because of it, or I am shaped a certain way, but now I'm going to reshape myself. I'm going to consciously practice that which is going to turn me into the version of myself that I want to be, not the version of myself that I have become unconsciously. And of course, the first few years of our lives, we don't know what's going on. We have a certain parents. Not all parents are great, or all parents do the best they can, right? I mean, they are also human. And when I understood that, when I learned that, I was able to be much more compassionate towards my own parents, which was that if they knew better, they would do better. And they themselves were not given any kind of manual on how to be, or how to bring up your children, or they had their own traumas. And anyone, this applies to anyone in your life who is troubling you, anyone in your life who's upsetting you in any way, or you feel victimized, or you feel hurt by them. Stop being a victim, because they themselves are acting from a place of pain in themselves. If they were completely healed, and they didn't have all these issues within themselves, they would act from a place of balance and love. But because they themselves are wounded, are hurt, are traumatized about something, and they're not able to process whatever's going on, it comes out like that. So most of the time, I would say 100% of the time, do not take other people personally. The only person you need to be in charge of is yourself. That is the only place where you can actually see results happening. When we're constantly waiting for somebody to improve our lives, or somebody to behave a certain way so that we can feel better, or we're waiting for some miracle to happen, and whatever abundance or whatever we want is just going to drop into our laps, we're going to wait forever. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that miracles don't happen. Of course they do. But you are a miracle yourself. You're a miracle worker. You've got to create the miracles for yourself in your life. Like, I love that story of that man who's drowning, and he says, God help me, God help me, God help me. And this guy passes by, in a boat, and he says, give me your hand, let me help you. And the guy's like, no, 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 I'm waiting for God. I'm waiting for God to help me. Then another guy comes in a helicopter. Come on, let me, and then this other lady comes, it says, is swimming along and says, come, let me get, here's my float. You can share my float with me. And he just keeps rejecting all the things that come his way, and he drowns. So that's what we do very often. We're waiting for something so specific, and we ignore, and sometimes we're blind to all the multiple ways in which it is coming to you. One of which is your own mind, is your own ability to do things. Stop waiting and start doing, start acting, start taking action in your life, whatever it is. Go learn something. We live in a world where we have Oh my gosh, just turn on YouTube and you can learn anything you desire. Literally anything you desire is right there at the click of a button. So stop wasting time. Time is not, it's passing. It's passing. And at least as we live and breathe on this earth and as we have come today, on this planet, we have a certain number of days. Nobody's guaranteed how many days they're going to be here. And while you're here, instead of just sitting and waiting and thinking, start doing, start acquiring more wisdom, start acquiring more knowledge. And the more you do that, the more peace you will have, because you're actually taking charge of the things that you can in your life. So many people just sit and just wait. No, it's gonna, God is gonna come. What is God? God is all these beautiful manifestations offering itself to you freely. And you are like, no, you're not good enough. No, that's not it. No, that's, don't wait for good enough. Just take what is in front of you and do the best you can with it. Work with it. I don't mean put yourself in a relationship that is, it's not good, it's like not giving you any satisfaction. Or I don't mean like just compromise your values or can't compromise yourself to a point where you're doing something that is absolutely misaligned with your being. Not to that extreme, but I learned this in my life, that say yes more than you say no. Like, don't let your pride, your ego get in the way and say, oh, this is not good enough for me. Like, sometimes you're conscious of what other people will think of you and you're like, oh, you know what, but if I do this, they'll think less of me. Like, I have a status after all, and I can't do this job when I'm trained for this, or my parents want me to do this, and so because they want me to do this, if I do anything else, then maybe your family will be like, oh, I'll bring shame on my family because I won't be the doctor, I won't be the engineer. There's so many scenarios where um all these things go on, and it's so important to not have pride. So take opportunities. Believe me, when that opportunity comes, grab it and make the most of it. Okay, maybe it won't be the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, but perhaps it will lead you to other connections. I always say this: don't see failures as like, don't the word failure itself is so like dooming, it's so exacting, it is so it's so definitive, but it's not. The truth is that in life we're constantly failing, in quotation marks. And it's not a failure, it's just a product of an action you took. And you may take 100 actions and they all might come to some sort of consequence that isn't exactly what you wanted, but maybe the 200th time you find the flow begins. You've got to start that wheel, you've got to start that engine, and as you start that engine, you get the hang of it, and then you start seeing the results. And I'm not telling you from the top of my head, I'm telling you from experience. Okay, so I wasted a lot of time myself thinking, oh, this is not good enough for me, that's not good enough for me, I won't do this, I won't do that. you know and had I been a little more adventurous and said, okay, let me try this out, let's see what happens, let's just see what happens. And then later on in life I started doing that, and I realized there's so much I learned, and everything I did contributed to what I'm doing today, to who I am today. It was an education, it was an opening into different worlds which I would not have any knowledge of had I not taken that chance and gone for it and done all those things. So inner peace also comes from really exploring every avenue, not just sitting and waiting. Yes, inner peace comes from meditation, inner peace comes from spirituality, but people mistake spirituality for just non-action. That is the opposite of spirituality. Spirituality is taking action, is disciplining your mind, is using what the divine source has given you, the gifts that you have. Don't just let them rot and waste away because you're like, oh, no, but God hasn't come yet. That is God. So take that opportunity, make the most of it, and as much as you can, stop complaining, stop being a victim. And when you shift that, and when you start taking responsibility for yourself and your life and who you are and how you want to be, and what is the vision for your life, what is that version of yourself, look take a look into the future, take a look into the future as you are right now. From all the things you're doing right now and how you're being right now, what does your future look like? All right. And if you were to change certain things, how would your future look? What would you need to do today to have that version of yourself in the future that is really the best, most powerful version of you? Ask yourself that question. What do I need to do today? For everybody, it's going to be a different answer. For everybody, you're going to have a different answer, right? Maybe you need to be more brave. Maybe you need to stop drinking. Maybe you need to exercise. Maybe you need to start working harder and learning more and reaching out to more people. Like, there's a huge fear, and I had this for the longest time, of reaching out to people, and I don't mean socially, I mean like for work. Like, many times when I was in younger, like, I guess I was brought up like that. You don't like ask people for money for things that you do. Just be generous and things like that. And I learned over time there's no shame in asking for. It's an exchange of energy, and it's fine. And even if you reach out to like 100 people and one person answers, it's worth the effort. So don't be afraid of people not responding to you. Don't be afraid of people not taking you seriously, or not liking what you offer, or saying no to you. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I heard this beautiful podcast, and I can't remember who the person was, but his motto was with or without you. And I just loved that, because I was like, absolutely. Like, he did this conference where, he had, I think, around 100 people, and out of 100 people, 10 people chose to opt for whatever he was offering, and the rest of them didn't. And he said, what I've learned is it's with or without you. Okay, you have 10 relationships, whatever, they don't turn out right, or 10 people reject you, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's with or without you, you're going to progress and move forward. And then maybe the 11th person will be right for you, or whatever. But unless you're acting, and you're not just sitting and waiting. Peace is not just sitting and waiting and not engaging with anybody. That is stagnation. Stagnation. It is when you are challenged, you go out into the world, you meet people, they press your buttons, or you know they have a way of riling you up. You breathe deeply and really dig deep into that part of yourself that wants peace for you. Only peace, nothing else. And reminding yourself in that moment, is this going to give me peace? And if the answer is no, 99% of the time you're not going to do it. Again, I want to say that does not mean that you become a doormat, that if somebody is hurting you, or somebody is doing wrong things, and is misbehaving, or is like stepping on your boundaries. I don't mean you just be quiet because, oh, it'll give me peace. Yes, momentary peace. But what is going to give you long lasting peace? At times, it's also important to stop people in their tracks and say, this far, no further. You do not get to treat me like that. You know how many people are afraid to say that? So many people are just afraid to say, that's not okay with me, that's enough. And everybody has their own gauge of what is enough and what isn't. Okay, so that is, I wanted to clarify that. Like, do not let people step all over you and step on your boundaries. What might give you long lasting peace is to teach people how to treat you. If for a long time they've been behaving a certain way, and hopefully that's not the case, but even if it is, you might lose people in your life when you tell them all of a sudden, if you've taken their nonsense for a long time, and you tell them, you know what, this is not okay with me. You've done this to me for a while. I haven't said anything, but now I can't take it anymore. They may they may just disappear from your life because it's a shock to their system, because you've never ever, call them out on it. You've never ever put your guard up. Be prepared to lose people who continually want to abuse you, and when you tell them that that's not okay, they will disappear. And be very, very vigilant about those people. If they have disappeared, let them go. But the ones who stay and are willing to change, are willing to see how they went wrong, and they love you and they care about you enough to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I thank you for letting me know. And or they might be upset with you for a little while, but then they come back and they're like, you know what, you're very valuable to me. I love you, and I want to see how I can do better, and how I don't want that, for us or for that relationship. Then this person has some value. Then that they deserve to be in your life. That's the way to know the difference. So life is such a, there are so many intricate paradoxes as well in life, where on one hand you do this, on the other you do that, and sometimes it's not entirely clear what to do. Sometimes you just have to trust your inner, like, guide. If you're feeling uncomfortable about something, if it's really not sitting well with you, that it's not right. Okay, it's not right. If it's not sitting well with you, it's not right. So let it be. One, it could be that really there is an offense that is not okay with you. Two, it could be work you need to do on yourself. Maybe your ego is hurt. Maybe the other person is in the right, but your ego won't allow you to be humble enough to say sorry. It goes both ways. I've met so many people who just cannot apologize, and they just cannot see their part in situation occurred. So important to take ownership of how you contributed, if you did. you know People always talk about how other people treat you, but how are you treating other people? How are you behaving and contributing to the disruptions in your life? How are you in charge of whatever is going wrong? And even if somebody, for the most part, majority of the time, is not behaving right, there are situations and relationships where one person is much harder than the other, and one person just doesn't get it right, like whatever, 80% of the time. That does not mean that when you are the one who hasn't got it right, you justify yourself and make them wrong. You have to be willing to see yourself in every situation. Okay, let's see what people, all you beautiful people over here. Sunshine, what did you say? So glad I found your channel today. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy you found me too, Sunshine. You have the opposite problem. You say yes too much, even to things that you don't entirely agree to. Oh, okay. You let people take you for granted and walk all over you. And you need to learn to say no whenever necessary. Absolutely, Sunshine. And Marie Jana, hello, welcome. So it is so important to say no, so important to say no to whatever. If your nervous system goes into panic mode when you're asked to do something, or when somebody's in your space, and just give you a little example, like you're sitting there and a person joins you, and you don't want anybody there. You need your space at that moment. Your nervous system is already in override. You've done a million things. You just need that quiet time to yourself. Have the courage to respectfully say, I need this time. I love you, but I just need few minutes of quiet because I'm overwhelmed. You can say it in a nice way, so you're not hurting anybody's feelings, you're not offending them. Or if somebody wants you to do something and your gut says absolutely not, I am not going to do this, I don't want to do this, Don't do it. Do not do it, because nobody's coming to live your life for you. Who's going to bear the consequences? You are. And if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of others. If you don't take care of yourself, you're going to live a miserable life being a people pleaser. And do those people give a damn? No, they don't. But the ones who do, you'll know. And you'll know the ones who do, and be there for them. And it's really interesting how people will take for granted the ones who are in their lives, who give freely, who are loving them, supporting them. They'll ignore them and they'll take them for granted, and they'll chase the people who are taking advantage of them. Anyone resonate with this? Please put it in the comments. I want to hear about this. Why do we chase people and things that are constantly showing us that they don't value us? It is that part of ourselves that wants to prove that I am worthy, Oh, or you're looking at yourself as less than them, and you're like, oh, but they're so accomplished, they're so like cool, they're so great, and so I'm going to chase them, and I want their approval, I want them to like me, please don't waste your time. And when you do approach somebody, approach that person knowing that you are an equal. You are not less than anybody else. Like I said in one of my talks, which is, it could be that that person had a better upbringing or better circumstances or better environment, more opportunities, and you are where you are. Maybe you haven't reached where they have, or you haven't reached anywhere close to where you think in your mind you should have. That does not define you. Absolutely not. There are so many varied circumstances from which we come. We cannot choose where we're born. We cannot choose who we're born to. We cannot choose how we look. We cannot choose what shape we come into this world, or if everything is intact. We can't choose all those things. So there are so many variables. So don't get down on yourself. Don't put yourself down. And it's good to admire people, but do not become less than. Aspire. If you admire somebody, aspire to be that way, but go with the fullness of being, because you are a whole souled being, no matter whether you would have achieved or you haven't. Just by your birth, you are given that divine identity, and your divine identity is so magnificent, is so powerful, is so beautiful. So go with that feeling. And I don't mean arrogance. I don't mean, if you don't know anything about a certain subject, you go up to a person who's really accomplished and be like, try to prove that you know more than them. That is just pure stupidity. You have to be humble, but you don't have to be less than. You get it? There's a difference between humility and becoming like a little weak person and saying, oh, you're or worshiping somebody. Always use your own judgment, and no matter who it is, they have their own challenges, they have their own things that they're dealing with. Let me tell you, no matter what it looks like in this world, okay, and with all this social media and this and that, be it positive things or negative things that they put out there about people, a lot of it is made up nonsense. Okay, a lot of it is just embellished. It's just, they just show you like one little piece and the rest they don't show you. You only see the tip of the volcano, right? You just only see the tip. What's going on underneath, nobody knows. And so understand that under all of that, there's a world every single person is living. And so do not compare yourself with other people. Do not compare. You can learn from other people. You can aspire to be where they are. You can admire them for how they have achieved and come to where they have. And by the way, another point I wanted to put in is that maybe these people you look up to, they themselves had to work on themselves to reach to the point that they did. So learn from people, but don't become less than. You are not less than. All right, let's get another card. Let's see what else is showing up. And welcome to all of you beautiful people over here. All my blessings to you. Okay, there we have enlightenment. Let's get another card. healing chaos. Beautiful, beautiful. So, the more enlightened we get, the less chaotic we are. Where's the chaos going on? It's going on in our minds, it's going on in our hearts. Sometimes we have physical challenges. Okay, it's very difficult when you become ill, or when an accident has happened, or you've had a tragedy in your life, or you've lost somebody, or you find yourself in a financial situation where you don't have much, or you're trying to feed your family. I'm not saying that life doesn't throw its multiple just challenges towards you. That's life, that's the nature of existence. But the more enlightened we get, the more we are filled with that divine light and understanding and wisdom, the more peaceful we become through the storms of our lives. Nobody is saying that there won't be any storms. The storms will come, they will come. But it is not about the storm that comes. It is about how are you and who are you when that storm comes into your life. Either you're going to get swept away and thrashed around, or you're going to find your own inner, like that anchor that you are. You're anchored in your spiritual being, so strongly anchored in that place within you that is filled with peace, filled with just that pure understanding that you are your own experience. You are your own experience. And I say this with with knowing how easy it is to get triggered by external experiences. But I learn every day that I am going to create the experience regardless of the storm or the person or the circumstance. Is this easy to do? No, I'm not saying it's easy to do. But when you master, when you practice, when you continually choose something different from the choice that you've taken, when what the choice that didn't serve you, then you find yourself getting better and better and better with every storm that comes. It cannot overcome you, it cannot overtake you. You know how to navigate through this storm. So I'm a life navigation coach, and that is what I teach my clients. I mean, and my clients are my friends, they're my soulmates, I love them, and I help them to see what is it that they need to learn, so that when that storm comes, or when that person comes, or when you go through that tragedy, how are you navigating through that? All right, let me read the comments. Welcome to everyone who's here. So much love to you, my beautiful souls. So much love to you. You're with someone right now. You fell for your friend and he is non-committal. Okay. Exactly. You're not a bird. You're not a bird. Do not take crumbs from people. Do not take crumbs from people. If somebody is throwing crumbs at you, either you make them aware to step up to what is your worth and value. And the only reason you're allowing somebody to breadcrumb you is because you don't value yourself enough. Okay. Or we think we're desperate. There's an unhealed part of ourselves that needs to prove that, oh, I am valuable, needs to prove that, oh, I yeah, this is what I deserve, because I have to prove my worth, then they will start giving me what I want. Absolutely not. You are worthy right now. You are worthy in this very moment, no matter what happened to you in your past, no matter what you've been through in your past, whether you've been rejected, or you didn't have a good upbringing, or you were neglected, or whatever it was, or the people who were meant to care for you hurt you, or they left you. I want you to reclaim your power. And I want you, at some point, we've got to parent ourselves. And if I was your parent and I saw that you were accepting a relationship like this, I would say to you, no, no, you need to stop this because you deserve better than this. So parent yourself, have respect for yourself. Believe me, nobody is going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. Respect is earned, and respect is also how you feel about yourself, and you show the world. If you show the world you really respect yourself, anyone who's trying to do anything else doesn't stand a chance. Either they respect you or they're out. They don't get to stay if they don't have value for you. And ask yourself, why are you allowing, what is it that happened to you, either when you were a child or as through your life, that made you believe that it's okay for you to have a relationship where that person doesn't bother, gives you the bare minimum, just gives you like, and let me tell you, anyone doing that, they have no respect for you and they do not value you. You're just their convenience. You're just there to satisfy their ego. That's it. They're feeding off of you. Do you want to be somebody's like just snack, and they just come and take a bite of you, and that wears off your soul, that wears your being down? Do you want somebody to wear your being down, to take bites off of you little by little by little till you feel like you're nothing at all? No. Right now, anyone listening to this, if you're in a relationship like this, if somebody is doing this to you, break it off. Let them go. Make room for something better in your life. More than anyone else, make room for your own respect for yourself in your life. And don't let other people take advantage and eat away at your soul, because that's literally what you're doing. You're handing your soul to them on a platter and saying, here, go ahead and destroy my spirit. And then it's not on them, it is you. It is on you. It is your fault that you are allowing this kind of behavior and this kind of experience in your life. Do not do it. Okay? Uh, Yeah, nobody can keep you around, my darling. Nobody can keep you around. You're doing it to yourself. You're allowing this behavior. So that's what I mean when I say take ownership of your feelings, take ownership of how you are allowing other people to treat you. How are you allowing these people to behave? You're giving them the permission and you're actually handing it to them on a platter. Stop doing that. Enough. You deserve better. It's better to be alone than to be with somebody who treats you like that. I will I tell you without a shadow of a doubt, yes, you'll feel the pain for a little while, because why are you addicted? Also, another question you need to ask yourself is, why are you addicted to people who give you this kind of treatment? So many people in the world, because of their low self-esteem, because they don't feel good about themselves, are addicted to people who continuously treat them like this, and they will keep chasing them because they need to prove to them, look, I'm valuable, look, I'm valuable, look, I'm valuable. And you're repeating the same pattern from your childhood or from whenever somebody did that to you and made you feel less than, instead of healing that part of yourself and saying, you know what, I'm not going to give energy anymore to this kind of treatment. I'm going to guard myself, I'm going to heal myself, and I'm going to love myself to the point that nothing but a whole souled being gets to be a part of my life, you know? And I understand it's lonely sometimes. You're like, you don't want to be alone. You want somebody in your life. And that little bit they give you, you kind of make it go. You make it like you kind of savor it for a while, and it keeps your spirit happy for 5 minutes, and then again they throw you one more crumb. But you have to have the strength to say no, 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 I am not taking your crumbs. Either you're going to come to equal give and take, or not at all. A relationship needs to be symbiotic. It needs to be complementary. It needs to be like equal give and take. It cannot be like that. You're living in an illusion. Then you're living in a complete illusion. It has taken away from my sanity, mental peace, and okay, now like you're being too nice and gets me nowhere. I already said, my lovely, time to put an end to it. Put an end. Of course, everybody do whatever they want, but if I was you, I wouldn't continue in that. But it's your choice. Everybody has their own path, their own choice. I mean, I can only give you my wisdom and guide you. Then everybody chooses what they do. Okay. Now let's. So who do we have here? Let's hear who is here. Who is here? Say hello. Let's get one more card or two. Openness, openness, and we have security. Yeah, I think that's the number one thing every human being wants: security, right? Whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your finances, whether it's in your physical, health, you just want to feel secure. We as humans need and want security, and we want to feel like we're taken care of, that we're in a safe place, that that we're good, we're okay. But as challenging as this is, with a lot of times there is no security in the physical realm because it's constantly fluctuating. And after a while, I've learned to create that security within myself. That safety, that security has to be a place in you. It is not outside of yourself. The environment is within you, and you are the environment. So be open, okay? That doesn't mean you just stop talking to everybody and just become a hermit. Although that can be a little convenient at times. But be open to all the wonders, the magic of this universe, and know that you are provided for. You are loved by that divine, infinite um, nature, that is all around you, within you, that is the nature of this being, this existence. Um, but this security is this light inside of yourself. When you learn to burn that flame within yourself, because here there's a cave with a bonfire, that is where you begin to feel safe inside of yourself. And ask yourself right now, with the mental environment that you're in, or the whatever your nervous system is like, are you creating a safe space for your own being? Or are you giving that safety away to everything outside of you? So it's time to now, kindle that flame of love, that flame of light, that flame of warmth within your being, where that love just permeates every part of you. That love reaches every inch of your being, and that glow resonates and resounds in you. This is one really great way of doing it, just to like sit quietly and just feel that love inside of you, just that flame just coming up, that love, and it's just like glowing and is reaching every part of you, and it is burning away all that pain, all that rejection, all that fear, all that, sense of instability, and you're just lit up from within. You are a light so bright that it just illuminates everything. It illuminates your consciousness, it illuminates your world. And that is the Gayatri mantra. It is such a powerful mantra, and I learned the meaning from Swami Swarupananda when I was in my 20s. And it's such a powerful mantra. If you just focus on this mantra, the Gayatri mantra, It says Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha. So it speaks of all the levels of consciousness, waking, sleeping, dreaming, and the subconscious, all the levels of, the atmosphere, everything, every level. Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha. Tat Savitur, that truth, Varenyam, that is most desirable. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, which means let that ultimate truth, the most desirable truth, illuminate my consciousness. And let that flame of truth burn away the darkness or the ignorance within me. And, and by that, light up the whole universe. And if you just focus on this mantra and you continually chant it or listen to it and focus on that light, what is the most desirable truth? What is that most desirable truth? That most desirable truth is just knowing that you are one, the oneness, that one connected being, that you are this powerful being of light. That's what you are. You are not your irritations. You are not your circumstances. You are not your achievements or lack of. You are a brilliant and beautiful light one. You are the oneness of this incredible, supernatural, powerful, infinite being. Consistently remind yourself of that. And it is a frequency. When you connect to that frequency, to this openness, this oneness, I see openness, but it tells me oneness of this universe, you are unstoppable. And you will find that when you are resonating, when you are vibrating at this frequency of oneness, of being the light of this universe, everything around you starts shifting. And you're not doing it for anything, you are being it. You are being it. We're always looking to do something to get something. That's where we go wrong. We live our lives like beggars. We are not beggars. We are infinite source. We are infinite beings. And where do we live? We live in a state. Either you're living in a state of infiniteness or you're living in a state of lack. And we have different areas in our lives where we're in a state of lack, or we're in a state, some areas of your life you can be very positive and it's all working out, but then certain areas of your life you live in a state of lack. You live like a beggar. So ask yourself, which parts of your life are you living like a beggar in? Where are you behaving like you are a limited and very like unfortunate being? Examine yourself and go to that part of your life, go to that area of your life and address it and start speaking infiniteness into it. Start speaking light and glory and beauty and just magic into that part of your life. Okay, do not get limited by what you see. What you see is just a result of what has happened so far, and even that is an illusion. Okay, we take it so seriously. That is the matrix, that is the illusion. Don't get deluded by the illusion that is constantly tempting you to believe it, like, oh, you're this, or this happened to you, or it's like that. What true spirituality is when you can break through that seeming picture in front of you into the light, into that power within you, and you wake up from the dream that is trying to make you believe this is the truth. It is not the truth about you. And I can't tell you how many times I've had breakthroughs just knowing this, that I am an infinite divine being, and that nothing on the seeming physical plane, because it is not physical, it is vibration, it is energy vibrating, can limit me in any way, at all. All right, so stay open to the infiniteness of your being, to the infinite possibilities, the infinite ways in which you can be blessed and be a blessing in this world. The more we can shift our focus from me, I want, the happier we get, when we're more about just being an open being and letting it flow, the give and take, the in breath, the out breath. You're not like holding your breath, and then you're not like breathing out to the point where you're dying. That's the balance that people don't get. Either they're so consumed with themselves that they're just breathing and holding their breath, taking, and that is death. Okay, on the other hand, if you're giving to the point where you're breathing out, that is also death. So there's got to be a fine balance between that give and take. And what is that fine balance? That is life. Life is the in breath and the out breath. That's how we are here. That's how we live our lives. So remember to have a balance between breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And in any area of your life, if you're holding that breath, either in or out, it's in not in balance. So right now, if you're feeling that way, just give yourself a moment to breathe naturally. Just breathe in deeply. Let's take a deep breath in and let go. Breathe out. And then you're living in harmony with your own being and the universe. And if anyone has questions for me, you can ask me. If you're dealing with a certain situation in your life or you find it challenging, you can ask me a question and I can help you. You know, I can coach you, I can give you a little bit of guidance on how to navigate through that situation. Okay, like I said, that is what I do. I'm a life navigation coach and I'm an intuitive life navigation coach. So I can sense, I can receive energy, I can receive signals, I can just tap into certain emotions, whether you express them or not, whether you tell me or not, I can tap into it, okay? And help you to heal from within, shift that frequency, shift that energy, and I do healing work for your energy field as well. So that is what I'm opening the space up for. Like, if you want to ask me anything about your life, or you have something that you find you need healing in, or you need just guidance, go ahead and type it and I will help you. Let's see what else. You're tearing up. The last relationship, you were abused, you stopped looking for love. I'm giving up again. You're not giving up, my darling sunshine. You're not giving up, you're letting go. Okay? There's a difference between giving up and letting go. When you let go of something that is toxic, you have your power intact. When you let go, you are making a conscious choice not to engage in something that is detrimental to you. Okay? That is letting go. When you give up, you are abusing yourself. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're telling yourself, I'm not good enough. You're telling yourself, I'm not worthy, that I should fight for my own being. So there's no giving up here. There's only letting go of things that do not serve your highest good. Okay, so they do not give up. There's no giving up. Just let go. Let go of things that do not serve you anymore and that are bad for you. You are worthy. I want each of you, whoever's listening today, that you are worthy. You are a worthy being. And that does not mean that you just behave as you like. You behave like a jerk. You engage in like bad habits, or you are abusive to people, and then you say, I'm worthy, so I can do whatever I want. Don't get it the wrong way. No, I mean, you are worthy of everything good in your life, but you are also worthy of watching who you are and becoming the highest version of yourself. Sometimes people stay in toxic behaviors as well, is because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they're worthy of being a better version of themselves. you know. So a lot of people who are like this, who are toxic, who are mean, who are cruel, they have the lowest, you may think, it seems like the opposite. It seems like, oh, they're arrogant, they're so full of themselves, they think no end of themselves, and they just behave so badly, they treat you so badly. But it is the deepest level of unworthiness that you can come across when people behave like that. It's because they don't believe they deserve any better in their lives. They don't believe that they deserve to be a better person, you know, and they have given up on themselves. So that is what you need to acknowledge as well. When you see people behaving like that, when you see people are angry, aggressive, or being toxic or mean, it's because they've given up on themselves and they don't even know how to reach that better part of themselves. And if you're in that situation, you feel like you're a toxic individual, you feel like you're hurtful to others, you're mean to others, or you're just destroying yourself and others around you, you know, systematically, then you need to look in deeper and you need to forgive yourself. But forgiveness doesn't mean I forgive myself and I go on and continue that behavior. I continue to behave like a jerk. That does not mean, that's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is when you are choosing another path. You forgive yourself and then you choose a different action, or you choose a different way of being, or you work hard towards shifting the way you have been in this world, or you go deeply into spirituality and then you get enlightened and then you can have instantaneous healings. I don't believe that a person has to you know, for years on end suffer and suffer and suffer. When that light shines so brightly within you, instantaneously you can go from being this toxic individual to being a light being, where your light, it's there. Everyone has that light in them, but sometimes it's hidden by so much pain. And that darkness, the pain, it hides that light. But when you choose to find it, when you choose to uncover all the layers that have formed, have turned you maybe into an irritable, angry person, or you just don't find any joy, or you're very negative about things, when you decide to peel off those layers and find your light, a transformation happens. And so many people, you know, in history, this has happened to, like, Saul, you know, was a murderer. He went around massacring people. And when the Christ consciousness spoke to him, he became Paul. And from that moment, he was transformed. He instead of hurting people, he began to heal people, you know. Then there are so many stories of this. Uh, what's his name? It's not coming to me. Um, anyway, there was this king, and he went around massacring and, you know, acquiring land and kingdoms, and he just destroyed everything. And when at some point he had killed so many people that suddenly he was awoken. You know, his spirit woke up in him, and from that day on, his whole path was about ahimsa, which is non-violence. And you know, he created, why is this name not coming to me? I know this every day, but anyway, he created the wheel that is in the Indian flag, of the wheel of conduct. And so he had an instantaneous transformation, and he went from being a murderer to one that upheld the rights of people. And then he that's how he lived his life, upholding the rights of other people, and choosing a path of peace. So even if you've done wrong in your life, even if you are that person who is toxic, don't give up on yourself, okay? Don't give up on yourself. You are also worthy of finding your light. You're also worthy of finding that beauty inside of you and of living that highest version of yourself. I feel today it's so important to rehabilitate people who are like that, who have gone through so much trauma that they are now like the worst version of themselves. And a lot of that sometimes was not their fault, it happened to them. All right. But I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, you are not here to put yourself in harm's way. to help people in that place, they need to get professional help. They need to get help. They need to work on themselves. A lot of people have a savior complex. Okay, they'll take the most messed up person and then they'll start a relationship with them because they want to save them. Oh, I'll help you to get better. I'll help you to become a better version of yourself. Don't take on more than you can. There are people for that. Let them do it. Okay. So if you're healthy and vibrating at a healthy frequency, go ahead and choose healthy individuals and ask yourself which part of yourself is craving to find people who are messed up, that you want to like have a relationship with. Everything in this life is about self-examination. You have to continually examine yourself. Why am I going in this direction? Why am I not getting up and going in a direction that I should? Why am I not taking the chances? Why am I not investing in myself? Or why am I making excuses? Or why am I allowing somebody to treat me like that? Or why am I treating somebody like that? Why am I so impatient? Examine yourself all the time. Am I living to my highest potential? What stone haven't I turned? You have to turn every stone, every stone. Don't stop, okay? Like you've tried a million things, it hasn't worked, try the millionth and one thing. Just keep moving forward. Opportunities are formed when you are brave enough to go in places and directions that you've never been in before. And you've got to be a little um, you know like people are vulnerable. They are not thick skinned, and so rejection really hurts them. Most people are like that. They don't like to be rejected, and so people are like, grow a thicker skin, become more, don't let it get to you, just become harder. But rather than seeing it like that, I feel it's not about growing a thicker skin. It's about understanding that rejection is, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It just happens to be, oh, you got a result. You got this result, okay, that person was not interested. That's fine. Next. Like I heard somebody say, there are how many billion people in the world? So many. Why are you hung up on that one who won't give you what you want? It's that part of yourself that's trying to prove. I keep saying that. It's trying to prove that you're good enough. Move on and choose better people in your life. And don't worry about rejection. It's okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. A lot of people just get stuck in one place and then they're living an unfulfilled life. Stop waiting. One person said no, second person said no, third person said no. Does not matter. You're going to get a yes somewhere. All right. That's just the odds of life. So stop waiting. Whoa, I'm just letting it come through, like, just letting the messages come through. Yes. All right. How long have we been going? My gosh, it's been an hour. I don't know where this hour went, but there was so much that needed to come through. So anyway, before I guess, let's do, what should we? Let me just get a few tarot cards and let me get a few tarot cards and maybe we'll do pick a card. Okay, 1 minute. Let me get this. Okie dokie. All right, one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witch Tarot. The Everyday Witch Tarot. I love this deck. Now, let me just shuffle and see what messages are coming through. And remember, my darlings, you can always book a session with me. You can always go to my website and book a session with me, all right? Okie dokie. So, let's see what messages are here from the tarot for all of you gorgeous, gorgeous souls. Okie dokie. Let us see. 9 of Swords. Oof. The Five of Pentacles. My gosh. The Knight of Swords is about sleepless nights, anxiety. Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold, rejection, you know, outside of the warmth, like everybody's enjoying themselves, but I'm outside of that. Why am I not included in things? It's rejection. All right. So maybe some of you have been through a rejection. Rejection kept coming up during this reading anyway. And I think it's a major thing that we all deal with. And yeah, let's see what else. Show me more. Queen of Cups. Love this. The Queen of Cups is, water energy. It is all about your emotions. It's about abundance. In this card, they're fish jumping up, and they're like a sign of abundance. Um, but I get that this wealth, this abundance, this flow that you're seeking from others, you're seeking from outside of yourself, is actually just you are the source of it. So start pouring out your abundance into your own life. Start pouring your abundance out into your own life. Ask yourself, what is my abundance? What is it? What is my abundance? And stop like waiting for it. Stop creating a space in your mind where you feel less than, or you feel like, oh, I'm not worthy of it, I'm rejected. Maybe somebody rejected you right now and you're feeling very hurt by it. um, the Queen of Cups is where you rise. She's the queen of emotions. You need to rise in your emotional realm and make it the most beautiful space. If somebody left you, somebody walked away from you, don't waste another second of your precious life on them. Okay? That's their choice. It has nothing, I mean, nothing to do with you. Even if in the physical realm, okay, they might have said, oh, you did this, that, and the other. Oh, I don't like you because you're this, that, and the other, whatever. That's their thing. And even if it's true, if are you gonna just sit there and allow them to take your power away from you? No, no. Every moment is precious. You're going to get up in that moment and you're going to claim your well being. And you're going to say, all right, that's how they feel. It's done. I am not going to then punish myself some more for their actions, because that's what you're doing if you're going to stay over here. You're not going to stay in this energy. You're going to just get up and you're going to remember who you are. You're going to remember the abundance of your being, how loving, how lovable, how incredible you are. And you're going to just let that go. Let it go. And people might say, oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can, because I've done it. Yes, you can. It's a mindset. When you see your life and you're like, am I going to live my life in this painful realm, or am I going to get up and start like moving forward? It's a choice. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes it's not easy, but you've got to choose that for yourself. Choose yourself. Choose yourself and take care of yourself. Like if you were a friend, if a friend told you that somebody left them and they did this, what would you tell your friend? You'd say, come on, let's go out, let's do something, let's shift your focus to something good. So do that for yourself as well. Shift your focus to something good in your life. Let's see what else. Six of Pentacles. Immediately go out and help somebody. When you do that, you feel so much better. Six of Pentacles is unconditional giving and receiving. When you're in a sad or bad place, I'm telling you, this is a remedy that works for me every single time. I shift my focus to helping somebody. How can I serve somebody? How can I help them? And when that happens, my energy shifts from me, this happened to me, that happened to me, to look at all the abundance inside of me that I can share with the world, that I can contribute to the world. All right, so shift your focus from me to How can I be a blessing to somebody else? Here's the Lovers. The Lovers is, it can be about lovers, of course, because you see these two holding hands and this beautiful energy and frequency that is unfolding, the magic that is happening here. And the Lovers can also be about being at a crossroads in your life. It's a path you're choosing, a new path that you're going on. And when you choose this new path, I see these two as mirrors to each other, like merging with the elements of your being and creating magic going forward in your life. A lot of people live divided. There's so much pulling us apart. you know it's so important to become in alignment with our being, so we're not like on extremes. We're not living in extremes. We're living in that beautiful place of balance and alignment. So, going forward in your life, choose that path. Choose a path of alignment. Choose a path of calm. Choose a path that is going to lead you to the magic of your being. And it's an active choice. You've got to choose it daily. So, like I said, when something's coming at you that's going to derail you, that's going to take you away from this beautiful, harmonious place, you ask yourself, do I want to waste this much time going in a direction that is not aligned with my soul? Or am I going to quickly drop that and keep walking on the path that I have envisioned for myself? So many times we fall off the wagon. We're constantly like, oh, you said this to me, or you did this to me, oh, that didn't work out, or it didn't. Move on. The best thing you can do is get back on your chariot and drive forward. You're not just going to sit there and argue with the thing that is wrong for you or that happened that didn't work out. Leave it behind, go forward. Leave it behind and go forward and continue down your magical path. All right. How many people don't just, it's common sense, isn't it? It's common sense to disengage. Before I would find myself engaging, and now this is my technique. Like, as soon as I find that the energy is going off track and I'm finding myself getting more and more involved in that, I just drop it like a hot potato. Like my hands are burning. Like I just, boom, just drop it. I get up and I'm out of there. Out of there. So just drop it. Do not let your ego drag you down further down a path that you don't want to be on. Then it's going to take you that much longer to come back to this path that you know that you deserve. And if you don't know you deserve it, remember, try and understand that you deserve to live in a path of peace. You don't need to engage in every single conflict that comes your way to prove that you're right. You can just be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Beautiful. Move on. Move on. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Look at that. The devil. The devil will constantly tempt you, right? What is the devil? The devil is toxic patterns of behavior. The devil is trying to also, sometimes greed. Like we want things to happen really quickly, fast schemes, or we want instantaneous wealth. Who doesn't want that? Like we all want that, right? We just want it. And that, I'm not saying it's not possible. Of course it's possible. But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to try and make you believe that, oh, you're putting all this effort in, it's useless, just come and do this instead, or let me tempt you with something that's easier, or something that's just lazy. Be aware of what you're choosing and who you allow to influence you. In this whole world of influencers, I cannot stand that word. Okay, I cannot. It irks me to no end. Influencer, excuse me, what? No, do not get influenced by things, people, where somewhere in your gut you'll know this is not right. But because your greed or what you've been fed by whoever, that, oh, this is a get rich instantaneously scheme or whatever it is, do not get tempted by that. Do not. Stay in the middle path. Stay here and keep on creating your magic, but don't go astray. And do not go against your innate wisdom that knows without a shadow of a doubt that this is wrong. Trust that guiding voice, and you know it's wrong. Don't allow your ego or your greed to convince you otherwise. I always believe the right way wins the right of way. Stay stay true, have integrity in what you do and who you are. Don't try and oh, it's fine, it's okay, it's just a little lie there, it's fine, if I just tell them this. So I No, it's not fine, because that again is going to chip away on at your soul. And who are you compromising at the end of the day? You may feel you made a fool of somebody else, but who are you making a fool of at the end of the day? Only yourself. So don't get tempted by anything. Or if your peers, if you're a young person here and they're like, come on, have some alcohol, or try these drugs, or come smoke with me, these are things that are going to lead you down the worst path of your life. When you're younger, you don't understand. You're only trying to please your peers or your people around you. But what is it going to do? It's going to destroy you and your life and all the people who love you, who are around you, and can lead you down paths that you don't want to go. And that is the devil. The devil is trying to make you think this is something good, something attractive, something cool, something amazing. Be part of the cool gang, have some alcohol, have some this, have some that, and then you're going to feel so included, because we all want to feel included. So it comes in many disguises. Please be very alert to this energy and say no to it. Walk away from it, because it will only take you down. It will take you down a path you're going to wish you hadn't allowed in. So be very firm at the door of your life, who you allow in, not just what you allow in, what substances you allow in, what toxins you allow in, what toxic behaviors and thoughts you allow into your life. And if you're engaged in any of these right now, you can start to change it. You can start, but right at the outset, do not let it in. Guard your life, because it is precious. I know somebody needs to hear this. If you're young people listening to this, if I could tell my young self, and out of sheer ignorance, not that I did things, but there's so many things you do out of sheer ignorance, and I wish somebody had guided me and said, don't do this. It can be such a huge detriment to your life. So don't get tempted by things that are going to give you a lifetime of pain going forward. Don't do it for anyone. You don't owe anybody anything. Okay, the only person you need to take care of yourself is you. And if they're leading you down a path that is detrimental, you better bring yourself back, unless you want to suffer for the rest of your life. It's a very strong message that's come through. And whoever's listening, I want you to tell me if it spoke to you. I want you to tell me if this stopped you in your tracks from making the wrong decision just because of peer pressure, or you want to look good, or you want to you want people to think you're so modern, you're so whatever the word is today. No, 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 no. Listen to your gut. Listen to your inner voice. All right. Let's see what else. Knight of Cups. Beautiful. The Knight of Cups is a very positive card. It's about offers, new beginnings, coming your way. And also, they can come in disguise. Sometimes you don't know how this is going to come. It could come from abroad. It could come in the form of I don't know, a message. I feel like there are opportunities that, what I'm trying to say is, stay open to the way opportunities come into your life. Don't get stuck on how they're going to come into your life. Stay open to where and how they come from. And sometimes you may not recognize it immediately, but it's there are many ways in which beautiful opportunities can come into your life. Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Another thing I'm getting is uh, recognize an idea that you have, and don't worry about whether anyone thinks it's good enough or not. Like, if you believe in it, start working on it. Okay. And there's the Ace of Wands. That's something you're passionate about. Start working on it, start learning about it. Don't be afraid of what you don't know right now. Just put energy into what it is that you love, and you will manifest, because you will make this thing happen. And communicate with the right people, and don't wait for it, is what I'm getting. Don't wait, because that's what I feel like. You might feel, oh, how can I offer this to the world? Or, I'm not even there yet, or I'm too young, or I'm too inexperienced, or I'm too whatever. You become experienced by starting. Experience isn't going to come. All the people who are experienced in the world didn't become experienced by just sitting and wondering. They became experienced by doing. So take action. The Ace of Wands, that's wands. Wands is action. It's fire energy. So what I'm getting is, take action towards whatever it is that you have an idea about. Hundreds and millions of people have ideas, but it's the people who actually implement those ideas and do something about it that create huge shifts in this world and in their own lives and in the lives of their families. And we live in such an incredible time. It's handed to us on a platter. um, there's so many channels by which you can express yourself. You can share your gifts, you can create, you can earn. So think out of the box, and if you do have ideas, use them. Stop waiting. Just start developing things, start doing things, start experimenting, and putting your stuff out there. And if you're young, you have a head start, my lovelies. So don't waste time. Go ahead and set your course from now about where you want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Having said that, we can plan a lot of things, but life happens, in between. But that doesn't mean that you just give up on every plan. You have a plan. What did I hear the other day? Be flexible about the details and be certain about the goal. So when you're flexible about the in between and how it happens, you have that goal and you're working towards it and you have a framework. But be flexible about that framework. Don't get stuck if things go this way or that, because that's the in between, and things, there are variables. But be very fixed about where you're going. Like, keep that vision in front of you. Whoa, I have talked a lot. I think it's time to stop. But everybody who was here, thank you so much for being here, my lovelies. Bless you all. Sending you so much love and so many blessings. And may all your heart's desires um, be manifested, and may you feel calm and peaceful, and may you feel loved, may you feel secure, and may you feel worthy, to be and to work on yourself to be that highest version of yourself. And may you act in accordance with your vision in your life and achieve all that you possibly can. And don't give up, and don't feel discouraged, and don't feel like this is it. No, every day gives you the opportunity to choose. You get a new fresh start. Isn't it? It's such a miracle to me that no matter what has happened, when you wake up the next day and the next day and the next day, it gives you an opportunity to start again and change the trajectory of your life. You don't need to stay on the path that you've been on if it's been a difficult one or a bad one. You can change that pattern and start living the life that you truly want to. But you've got to put that effort in. Either you've got to mentally change your framework, your mindset, or you've got to start taking, or both actually, you've got to start taking actions towards your dreams. And some people are like, oh, but I don't have anything right now. This is my dream, but I have nothing. This is how I live, okay? Whatever's in my toolbox, whatever I have right now, right here, I'm going to use it. And you will always find something. I guarantee you, you will find something. It can just be as simple as writing your plan down. It can be as simple as saying, what can I do right now which is going to contribute? And I know you can find one thing every day that's going to contribute towards your vision. And if you don't have one, start writing it down. Start feeling the feelings of how you want to feel when everything you ever dreamed or desired is here. And then go with the feeling rather than the exact details. Tap into that feeling of abundance, tap into that feeling of security, of health, of just a sense of purpose. Tap into that feeling of hope and faith, and like a sense of achievement, a sense of wow. I feel so mentally stable. I feel so like there's so much well-being within myself. So actively get into those states, regardless of the circumstances, and you will create then that energy field in your life, because you are that already. You've shifted your frequency to that energy field of well-being, of happiness, of peace. And the more you practice this, the more you become it you know so that's what I have to say to you, my lovelies, my gorgeous souls. Bless you with all my heart. And yeah, let me know in the comments what resonated with you, how you're feeling today, how you're applying these things in your life, and what have you learned. And share your wisdom as well. I love to learn from all of you. Wonderful, wonderful, incredible, magical beings. Okay, you take care of yourselves. All my love and blessings. Talk to you again soon. Bye.